May God bless us all. Today we're going to continue our sharing on pastoral wisdom, and today we're going to concentrate on what we have been saying so far. That is, what Kierkegaard, McMurray and Prussier said. These three authors contributed greatly to our understanding of wisdom as that thing which is required for pastoral care. We can affirm that pastoral care moves and is born out of experience, and this experience concerns the changing dimensions of human life through an interesting interrelationship of action, relationship and meaning. Now, the best place for the interaction of these elements of wisdom is to take place in a small group of colleagues in ministry, where this place one can discuss the messy, personal and also the necessarily confidential aspects of human life. And talking about one's experiences in pastoral caring can also mean talking about what's happening to someone else. In effect, we can say it's a gossip, unless this conversation takes place in a community that has been purposely formed to contribute to the care and the development of persons. Now, pastoral reflection on ministry, on a pastoral reflection on action in ministry, avoids try to put others in an objective way, but it emphasizes self-examination. So the ministers who are in these groups, in these special groups, they try to self-examine themselves rather than say what the patients should do. It is a discussion of the pastoral self in relationship, a particular carer's action in ministry, an examination of the kind of relationship that grew out of that action, and the reflection of the meaning of that action and relationship to ministry and theology. Obviously, one can learn a great deal from reflecting on one's pastoral way of doing things on his or her own, but experience has shown that it needs to be done more. And the tendency there is simply to grade them as good or bad and avoid looking at the details of the situation. Obviously, when there are more than one minister involved in seeing a colleague's way of doing pastoral care, it's a big benefit for the person because he or she can get more and more ideas from his or her colleagues. The observation of colleagues multiply the learning potential in a situation of ministry. And obviously members of this particular group have a common commitment to ministry, an openness to learning from their experience, can support each other in looking realistically at what has happened and consider alternatives that are appropriate for the particular minister involved. Obviously, although employing a consultant for the special group of ministry is not per se that necessary, but pastoral wisdom even in these special circles, of ministers has shown all the time that it may bring a valued addition to the group. And the consultant is usually someone with more experience in ministry, or what we can call it in pastoral circles, supervisor, this consultant in ministry, or more general experience in working with persons in groups. She may be or he may be a mental health practitioner, pastoral counselor, or specialist in organizational development. And the consultant's value rests in his or her experience, knowledge of persons, groups, and leadership, and in being separate from the group of colleagues in the consultation experience. And the consultant is employed to respond without any kind of personal involvement in the situation. She may know a great deal about similar situations, but unlike a supervisor who has some responsibility for what happens, the consultants can speak freely without concern for anything other than the person presenting the situation in the group. Yes, so here, strictly speaking, in a CPE context, we're not talking about supervisors, that's right, but about consultants, okay? Someone who is out of the situation. And what happens in this group? A group like this is not simply involved in case studies that might be about any person or situation in general. A member of the group presents a pastoral event or situation of ministry. The personal involvement of the person presenting the situation is obviously an essential element in what can take place. And what is interesting is that the group is not just discussing a particular situation, as one might talk about another person's life situation. On the other hand, rather it is concerned with learning from a situation in which one of its members has been involved. The group's focus is as much or more on the member and his or her development in ministry as it is on the situation itself. And one of the valuable contributions of a skilled consultant is maintaining this focus. That is the situation, that is this focus on the member and his or her development in ministry as it is on the situation itself. This is the focus. Otherwise, there would be a natural defensiveness that causes persons to externalize the situation rather than look at themselves. And God, we thank you for this time today. We ask you that we as ministers, as chaplains, grow in pastoral care, in the way we provide care, by have the courage to examine ourselves and let even consultants like these and also supervisors help us to grow in the ministry you have given us. May God bless us.